I just wrapped up one of my better live trading sessions, and I wanted to ask you guys if you guys want to see today's live session. It's as close to perfect as I've ever traded a reversal, especially if you're an absolute beginner and this is something that you want to get better in. You get to see my entries, you get to hear my thought process, and you get to see my exits. I made over $6,000. If you want to see this, shoot me a direct message either via Discord or via Instagram, and that's the first or third link in the description down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. As of right now, SQQQ up over $6,000 on the day, and the perfect reversal, or as close to perfect as possible, is this what we got going on right on over here. So market pushed on up, just like you guys heard me talk about in yesterday's video. I held 5,000 shares of SQQQ. Direction became favorable, then it began to pull on back. When looking at this on the 1 minute time frame, very easy to see that the pullback held above the moving average. If you know anything about the 3 stages of a reversal, it's the rejection, consolidation, and then the confirmation. I waited for confirmation before I really began stepping on the gas and adding more to my position size, and this was all caught in the live. When direction became favorable and this thing was actually beginning to indicate signs of an uptrend, showing that it was showing signs of progress, and then SQQ or overall NASDAQ began to sell off, forming lower lows. When NASDAQ market sells off, SQQQ goes up, and as you can see, again, not only did it surpass previous highs, but we looked at previous patterns to have a better understanding of where a previous resistance range could be. And when looking, again, you can just take a step back and see that there's been a very common resistance range right around $18 a share, which is why I didn't hesitate that as we approached $18. My exit was not perfect. I didn't sell at the highest price point of $18.10, but again, it's just respecting previous patterns and not being afraid to lock in profits when you are getting proper indication of a resistance, or you are approaching a resistance, which of course comes at a greater form of risk. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that you guys are all well aware of is I will be live streaming the FOMC rate decision, which is going to happen in less than 3 hours. There it goes. 2 hours and 15 minutes. The Federal Reserve is going to announce their next interest rate hike. It is to be expected that this is going to be a quarter of a basis point, a 94.6% probability that the Federal Reserve will be raising interest rates a quarter of a basis point, or a 5.4% probability that they do a a half basis point interest rate hike. When it comes down to the different economic reports that were released this morning, there was new home sales that came in a little bit lower than expected, meaning that less new homes are actually being sold than what was expected. 722,000 was expected, 697,000 was actually reported, which is also lower than the prior. Other than that, one of my main focuses as of right now is, again, as we approach the FOMC rate decision, I've done great with my first trade of the day and learning from my mistakes that I've made in the past couple of days. I do not want to be super aggressive before a very important report or news about to be released. So Meta does report earnings after the market closes. I will also be live streaming that. So again, just another reason to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. Turn on your post notifications. But in 2 hours and 15 minutes, the Federal Reserve is going to be announcing the interest rate hike. I'm going to be going live about 15 minutes prior to make sure we're all prepared. They're going to report, the market's going to react, it's going to be a lot of fun, and then 30 minutes after, Jerome Powell should be going live and then answering questions. I plan to go live during that as well. So again, if you don't want to miss that out, drop a thumbs up, get this video to over 1,000 likes, and make sure that you subscribe. And if you have any questions before the actual FOMC rate decision, do not ask me where should I buy or where should I sell. I never tell other people what they should do with their money. But if you have any questions, if you've never experienced this before, and you have questions that you want answered, feel free to message me via Discord or via Instagram, and that's the first or third link in the description down below. I want to stay as close to cash as possible because, again, once the market reacts, I don't know if it's going to be bullish. I don't know if it's going to be bearish. I don't have a crystal ball, but I would rather be late to a rally than early to a sell-off. Those are my 2 cents for people that are just getting started, that are trying to predict the future. You will most often burn yourself. And again, this is just a simple reminder. I hope to see you guys in our live stream for the FOMC and Meta earnings today. And again, that's just going to be in a couple of hours. But for right now, if you want to see that live session that I had with the LPP team, it's about 35 minutes long. It's just a raw live stream, and you get to see my entries, you get to see my thought process, and it's really going to give you a taste of what the LPP team gets to experience every single day. So shoot me a direct message right now, either via Discord or via Instagram, and that's the first or third link in the description down below. Just ask me for today's live trading, and I will send it on over. I appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.